Welcome everyone to today's webinar. My name is Preston McNair. I'm Vice President of Sales for Sangoma, and today I'll be talking about the add-ons for FreePBX. FreePBX is the world's most popular open source PBX platform. I'm going to go over a bunch of stuff at a very high level and pretty quickly. I expect today's session should take about 25 to 30 minutes. Todd Bryant, our Director of Enterprise Sales, is on with us to answer any questions as we go. And depending on time, I may be able to answer a few questions at the end of the session. So let's get started with a quick overview of Sangoma. When I do these presentations, I find that not everyone knows the history of Sangoma or how we're associated with FreePBX. Sangoma started back in 1984. We're over 34 years old, and we're a stable, growing company with a proven track record of success. We have over 15 regional offices covering the planet, and if we don't have an office near you, it's likely we probably have remote workers somewhere in your area. Sangoma Technologies is the world's largest provider of open source communication solutions and is the primary developer and sponsor of the Asterisk project, the world's most widely used open source communication software, and the FreePBX project, the world's most widely used open source PBX software. Sangoma leads the market in what we like to call the enterprise value-based communication segment, which includes small businesses to large enterprises who are looking for all the advantages of unified communications or advanced business phone systems at a fair price. Sangoma's UC solutions meet the needs of this segment with advanced features already baked in, as well as add-ons like we're going to talk about today that enable things such as presence and chat and conferencing and mobility, fax integration, and more. Our platforms, both commercial and open source platforms, allow businesses to truly communicate better with their customers through a high quality solution with a low total cost of ownership. Sangoma's voice over IP offerings include on-premise and cloud-based phone systems, SIP trunking services, and telephony hardware. Sangoma's products and services are used in leading providers of UC, PBX, IVR, contact center, and carrier networks and data communication applications worldwide. So I mentioned that Sangoma is the world's largest provider of open source communication solutions. We spend millions of dollars per year bringing Asterisk and FreePBX to the marketplace. Asterisk, of course, being the telephony engine or framework that is the engine of FreePBX, and FreePBX being an all-in-one IP PBX that, well, is free to use. In order to help support FreePBX development, we have various products and solutions that we add on to help us monetize our investment in open source. Today I'm going to cover some of the ways we address this here at Sangoma. So FreePBX is deployed in 220 countries and territories with over 20,000 new distro installs per month. This accounts for millions of active deployments globally, all across the planet. FreePBX currently has 1.3 million lines of code and close to 250 contributors. One thing most people don't understand about most open source projects is that much of the development is done by the project maintainers. Sangoma spends countless man hours per year developing and continuing to expand on the included feature set of FreePBX. With that investment and being a for-profit publicly traded company, we've built out these add-ons that will allow you to expand on the base feature set of FreePBX and hopefully provide enough of a return on investment for you, our customers and partners, to have you contribute back and support the project by purchasing some of these solutions that may fit your needs. So today I'll cover a few items in detail. First is Sangoma phones and Zulu UC. Every phone system needs endpoints, whether it's hardware-based phones or software platforms such as Zulu. Both our phones and UC desktop and mobile clients provide a very high level of integration with FreePBX features. I'm going to cover phones and Zulu at a pretty high level. We've lots of other online content, videos, and webinars on both of these options. And after I review those endpoint add-ons, I'm going to delve into the world of FreePBX commercial modules. We offer many modules as an individual add-on to FreePBX, and we also have some bundles that allow you to get significant discounts. Since we have both end users and partners today on this webinar, and our webinar content seems to hang around for quite a few years, today I'm going to do my best not to talk about any product-specific pricing as it is today. And depending on development and product life cycles and promotions, pricing does vary from time to time. You can get your current pricing on anything I talk about today by logging into the Sangoma portal by visiting portal.sangoma.com, or you can, of course, contact any of our distribution channels and partners around the world. Links to our partners can be found at sangoma.com. So let's start with Sangoma phones. About 5 years ago, when we did the first FreePBX World User Conference, we did some research to look at the impact of FreePBX in the telephony marketplace. And we were astounded at the amount of revenue that FreePBX generates annually. If you look at the hardware, the phones, the appliances, the gateways, the telecom services connected to the millions of FreePBX instances globally. The FreePBX ecosystem is responsible for billions of dollars of revenue annually. So being that 80 to 90% of the cost of a phone system is the phone hardware, Sangoma decided it makes sense for us to build a phone that is tightly integrated with FreePBX. Our phones allow FreePBX users to not only have a feature-rich experience, but also gives our customers and partners an easy way to support the open source FreePBX project directly by utilizing our hardware. Sangoma's S-series phones provide everything from entry-level desk phones to higher-end Wi-Fi and Bluetooth-enabled phones capable of supporting up to 7 expansion modules. And of course, we offer DEC-based handsets as well. All of our S-series phones can be deployed using our zero-touch technology, allowing you to drop ship a phone to an end user and then get them set up quickly without your technicians even touching the phones. In addition to the S-series phones, we have recently added the Digium D-series phones as a free and included option for provisioning within FreePBX as well. We'll also plan on adding the high-end touchscreen Digium phone, the D80, as a supported device for FreePBX in the future. When I talk about integration between our phones and FreePBX, since we developed both the phones and the PBX platform, we can do things that other manufacturers typically can't do or do as well. One of those things is our FreePBX phone applications modules. We have over a dozen customers, custom Sangoma phone applications available for FreePBX. Phone applications allow you and your end users to easily control complicated features directly from the phone soft keys. Phone apps allows a close integration of PBX and calling features directly with your users' phones. Like I said, these are supported on Sangoma and Digium phones for free. There is a paid add-on for FreePBX available in our portal for some limited support on other manufacturers' handsets. Phone apps makes training users to utilize calling features a breeze as they're built right into the phone. Things like conference room monitoring, visual voicemail, call forwarding, and so on. Phone applications like our zero-touch login or hot desking allows users to hot desk and quickly provision Sangoma phones with their accounts and user profiles across your entire PBX user base. I use it when I travel between our offices. So when I arrive in any of our US or Canadian offices, I can log into an extension and get my calls, as well as all of my speed dials and BLFs will be mapped to the phone I'm currently using. So this allows me to quickly pick up my extension anywhere on our corporate network. Things like visual voicemail application make the phone system easier to deploy and train for end users. So no longer do you have to teach them feature codes. So instead of dialing the voicemail feature code and listening to prompts to navigate to your inbox, your users can listen, manage, delete, and forward voicemails, all with little to no training. If they have basic reading comprehension, then they can quickly learn how to use this application. Another application is the conference room application. This is where users can see and manage people in their assigned conference bridges directly on their phone screen. So they can mute or unmute or even kick callers off right from within the screen of their phones. The next one is phone app is our presence application. This allows users to modify their current present status to receive phone calls. And they can also set up rules for this status. For example, if I set up a status of out to lunch, I can set the system to forward calls to my mobile automatically. Or if I have a status that says away, then I can send the calls automatically to my voicemail. Your present status also federates out to other devices and users on the PBX. So anyone that may want to chat with you from one of our desktop or mobile clients, they can see your status here. And you can also modify that status directly from those clients as well. So you can take one of our mobile clients and change your status there, or change it on the desktop phone or any of our web-based user panels. And all those systems will stay in sync. So the next app is the contact application. This allows users to dial from online global or personal contact list. So our phones support dozens of speed dials, but with the contact list, you can have hundreds, if not thousands of names and numbers available directly from your phone screen. And you can easily, administrator can upload those, or end users can upload those directly from the user control panel. So both contact lists can be set at the system administration level or have enabled at the end user level as well. The call parking application expands on the included feature call parking feature of FreePBX. So it allows you to park and retrieve calls on the screen of the phone. including the ability to see a list of parked calls and selectively pick up any of those calls parked. So parking a call is like putting on a call on hold that can be picked up from anywhere on your phone system. So this allows you a nice visual way to manage and pick up those phone calls. The call forwarding application allows a user to forward their calls by using the screen of the phone instead of having to remember feature codes. So users can even save preset numbers in the application. So you can enable, you can save your cell phone number or your home phone or where, other numbers to make it easy for you to toggle on and off where you want to forward your calls to. And you don't have to remember the feature code yourself or train your end users how to turn on and turn off the call forwarding. It's all done right from the screen of the phone. The Find Me, Follow Me application allows users to enable and modify their own Follow Me settings. So they set up their extensions to automatically ring their cell phone or any other number at the same time when they get incoming calls. The time condition application allows your enabled users, such as receptionists and management, to override preset time conditions on your system. For example, if you normally get live calls during the day and send your calls to a voicemail at night, in the event of something like an early closure due to weather, you can toggle your system to the closed status. The call flow application does the same thing as the time condition app. In FreePBX, you can set up call flows, which are just toggles to direct your calls to one place or another. For example, you may toggle your calls between taking live calls or sending everything to voicemail. These are most often used with businesses or individual departments that don't have set time schedules. So the call flow application allows you to flip the switch on where your calls are sent directly from your Sangoma phone. And the Do Not Disturb application is different than the Do Not Disturb button on most manufacturers' phones. This application is linked and synced with your PBX so that even if your phone is unplugged, powered off, etc., the PBX knows that you are set to Do Not Disturb. As an example, with my extensive traveling, I usually set my Follow Me calling to forward my calls to myself. But if I'm in a meeting, I may set my phone to Do Not Disturb. I can do that from the Zulu application or from the desktop phone or from anywhere. But if it's set to Do Not Disturb, even if my office power goes off on my phone, the system will honor the Do Not Disturb setting and not ring my cell. The transfer to voicemail application, this allows you to transfer callers to an end user's voicemail instead of having those callers transfer and ring their extension. So this is useful in a boss secretary scenario, or if someone doesn't want to, or maybe someone you don't want to talk to directly, you just send this straight to another user's voicemail. The queue application allows your management staff and administrators the ability to look at the status and call volumes of your active queues directly on the screen of your phones, as well as allowing managers the ability to manage queue members or call center staff by viewing the current status and logging them into or out of queues, and the ability to receive the inbound queue calls. The last phone app I'm going to cover today is the Queue Agents application, which allows your individual agents to manage their own status and queues. So they can selectively log into or pause themselves in individual or multiple queues. Features that would normally be controlled by long convoluted feature codes or third-party operator panels such as iSymphony. So you can quickly go in and log out or unpause from all the queues or just individual queues. So maybe if you're a support person, for example, who sometimes you jump in and help the sales queue, or vice versa, a salesperson who sometimes jumps in the support queue, you can selectively turn that on and turn that off directly from the phone. The next thing I want to cover is our user device management. So this allows users of Sangoma phones the ability to manage their own device buttons. So meaning your end users or customers can manage their own speed dials and BLF keys, keeping your administrative staff from having to spend time or resources on keeping those devices up to date with changes to personnel or user speed dials that they want to modify. So the next thing I'm going to cover, enough about the Sangoma phone hardware. The next thing I'm going to cover is Zulu. I did a much more in-depth webinar on Zulu last week. You can find that at sangoma.com or by visiting our YouTube channels. Zulu is a UC software client. It unifies your voice calls with computer and your mobile phone, including click to call and call notifications on your desktop. It pulls in the ability to do online chat, transfer and share files, send and receive SMS and faxes, and in the latest version, you can even share your desktop and laptop screen with your coworkers. The Zulu desktop client works on Windows, Mac, and Linux, and the mobile version will work on both iOS and Android. And for click-to-call for web browsers, we support Google Chrome and Firefox. Zulu is a server, a desktop, and mobile client solution that's designed to provide unified communications for your FreePBX installations. Zulu turns your installation of FreePBX into more than just a phone system. Check out that recent webinar for lots more information and screenshots. Just a quick note, the Zulu mobile clients are available in the Apple iOS App Store and the Android's Google Play Store. These are currently in beta, but are very functional and under very active development. So go out and try those out today. So that's it for our hardware phones and UC clients. The next thing up to talk about is our FreePBX commercial modules. So FreePBX is a powerful, fully featured UC platform and phone system out of the box. The feature set included in the open source components of FreePBX power everything from my small home phone system to, I've got systems that I support, with tens of thousands of users across the globe. So, over the years, Sangoma has developed, commercial add-ons to the base FreePBX. Either these were initially built for a specific commercial customer, or some modules are the result of development that needs, constant work and ongoing resources to remain up to date and functional. One example would be our FreePBX Endpoint Manager. FreePBX is open source and open standards, meaning you can connect virtually any SIP-based VoIP device to it and start making calls. That's often easier said than done. The reason we created Endpoint Manager as an add-on is because we found even with SIP phones and the SIP protocol having a recognized standard, consistency among manufacturers is just not a thing. Every manufacturer has a different interface or file structure for configuring their specific phones to connect to your PBX. So even with the ability to utilize dozens of manufacturers' devices in FreePBX, prior to Endpoint Manager, you lost the consistency that using, an old-time legacy phone system or PBX platform would provide you. So a major benefit of the FreePBX Endpoint Manager is that we give you one GUI that is standardized across all brands, providing system administrators the same basic management tool no matter which supported hardware you're deploying. So in a nutshell, you can manage devices from multiple vendors using the same interface. It lessens the learning curve and provides a consistent experience across often inconsistent technologies or device platforms. So we currently support over 300 devices, our Endpoint Manager, and 24 different brands. As the popularity of endpoint application has grown, so has the need to control the chaos of supporting so many brands and devices. So going forward, we'll add new devices only from brands that have partnered with us on our FreePBX certification program. The current brands that are certified are, of course, Sangoma S-Series phones and Digium D-Series phones, which are provided a free license. And we also support select certified handsets from SNOM, H-Tech, and Grandstream. In a total, as of today, we support or have tools for 24 different manufacturers' devices at some level. Those brands in alphabetical order are Astra, Algo, and Advanced Network Devices, AudioCode, Cisco, Cortelco, Cyberdata, Digium, Grandstream, H-Tech, Incom, Conftel, Mitel, Mosset, OBI, Panasonic, Phoenix, Polycom, Sangoma, SNOM, Uniden, VTech, Zorcom, and Yealink. In addition to the Sangoma and Digium phone support in Endpoint Manager, the Endpoint Manager also supports auto provisioning of Sangoma Vega analog and digital gateways. So not only can you auto provision your phones, but we make it real easy for you to set up our gateways directly with FreePBX. So if you need PSTN connectivity with analog T1, E1, we can do that for you real simply with our auto provisioning tools built into Endpoint. So 2 weeks ago, I did a more detailed webinar on Endpoint Manager, so I won't go too far into the weeds here, but basically Endpoint Manager allows you to set up your system parameters, define templates for your devices, map those devices to your extensions and users, and get under the hood of provisioning and managing firmware and configuration files for your devices, all from the administrative GUI of FreePBX. So the templates that you can create are detailed, allowing you to control extensive phone and device settings, and Endpoint can easily scale. You can build and apply templates across tens or hundreds or thousands of extensions, including pre-configured speed dials and BLFs to many users at one time. Once your templates are created and your phones are mapped to devices and extensions, configuration files are generated, you can then provision your phones. There's a few ways to do this. You can manually configure the phone. You can use PNP or plug and play functionality of Sangoma phones, meaning if you have a local PBX, local Sangoma PBX, you can go plug in your phone and using PNP automatically provision that back to your phone without having to get into the phone's configuration file. You can set up DHCP option 66 on your local network, or you can use Sangoma Zero Touch configuration cloud platform to configure Sangoma phones. So Endpoint Manager is by far one of our most popular add-ons in use for FreePBX today. It's really easy to see the return on investment when you can significantly save time and easily replicate your PBX deployments. One of our latest modules, just recently released, still in beta, but it is our WallBoard module. So WallBoard allows you to view in real time queue stats and statuses. The WallBoard is built by adding widgets to an authorized user's user control panel or FreePBX UCP screen. Your end users can log in and view the WallBoard at any time or project it onto a larger monitor to enable all relevant staff insight into queue performance at a glance. There are close to 20 different widgets that you can configure, to monitor things like active calls, historic call data, SLA performance, and so on. You can customize the widgets to view, general queue information for a specific queue, or even performance at an individual agent level. Another new module is the Sangoma Property Manager module. The Sangoma Property Manager module is a property management system designed specifically for FreePBX and PBExact phone systems. It is designed for small to medium hotels, bed and breakfasts, and hostels, giving hotel staff the ability to check in and check out guests, along with simple billing and guest services and room service capabilities. This module can manage booking rooms, checking guests in and out. You can book in advance. You can put in customer information. You can automatically email them information on their bookings. You can schedule wake-up calls once they've checked in. You can monitor and bill for minibar and room service restaurant charges. You can facilitate housekeeping requests, and room clean dirty statuses, both from a web-based portal as well as from the voice-enabled feature codes and prompts that the module generates. And although with the prevalence of mobile phones, many hotels still will charge for long distance or international calls on their guest statement. So this module hooks into FreePBX and allows you to track those calls and include them in the customer's invoices automatically. The system will also generate bills and invoices for guests. So you can automatically generate the bills, email detailed statements to your guest outlining their stay, any of their room service charges, minibar, long distance, phone charges, all of that directly on the invoice. And finally, the system will provide detailed time-based reports to track occupancy and finances. So it's kind of an all-in-one solution for these small hotels and hostels and bed and breakfasts. The rest of the modules I'm going to talk about today can be purchased a la carte or as part of a discounted bundle, leaving it to you to either purchase individual modules as needed, or you can start building a system with something like we like to call our starter bundle. The starter bundle includes modules that we think should be default add-ons to every FreePBX system that you configure. Add-ons that are so powerful, they should just be a default every time you turn up a system. It includes, the starter bundle includes the Conference Pro module, Extension Routing, Fax Pro, Page Pro, Park Pro, and Sysadmin Pro. So the Conference Pro module, which enables administrators to assign specific conference rooms to end users. And then end users can manage their own settings. So whether they're enabling a PIN code for you to access that conference code. And end users can also monitor those live conference calls from within the FreePBX user control panel. So they can view, mute, kick off callers, see who's in their conference bridge. They can lock a bridge so no one else can join. They can even invite contacts, meaning they can type in a phone number and the system will automatically place a call out to that phone number and drop them right into your conference bridge. So it's a real powerful system if you're like me and you do a lot of conference calls. The extension routing module, it provides granular control of which extensions have permission to use certain outbound routes. Great for things like securing lobby phones or expensive international calling. So locking lobby phones down from being able to make international calls. Then comes Fax Pro. Fax Pro enables end users to send, receive, and archive faxes directly in the FreePBX user control panel. So the fax is 7 years older than the telephone, and you'd think that with email and all the many ways to share documents today that there would not be a need for this module, but it continues to be one of our best sellers every quarter, every year. The next module, and my favorite because it's so versatile, is Paging Pro. This expands the included paging features of FreePBX. It allows for valet-style paging, optionally, and you can optionally pre-pin recordings, announcements, scheduled pages. You can schedule the pages with the recording. So many school systems today are utilizing this module to replace expensive bell systems. So you just set up the school systems are just setting up a page group for all of their devices or overhead speakers, and will play a bell sound at the end of every session or wherever they need to play a bell sound. The system Part Pro also enables outbound notifications. So this allows page groups to be notified when specific outbound routes are used, such as a call to emergency services. So participants in that page group can then listen on the call and barge in and talk if needed. For example, looking at a school scenario, if you set up an outbound notification so that if any classroom in that school were to call 911, it's going to automatically page a school resource officer or security department, as well as a front desk or administrative department, to let them know which extension's calling 911 or emergency services, depending on where you're located, and allows them to then listen to those calls. So it's a pretty powerful feature, enhancement of the existing paging feature. The next module is Parking Pro, which also expands on the built-in parking features by allowing multiple call parking lots. So FreePBX by default allows for one call parking lot. Parking Pro enables you to do multiple parking lots, and you can do private and public parking lots. So you can do like a boss secretary type role where you have private parking lots between two people or just a small group of people, or maybe an individual floor if you're in a big campus environment. It also enables a park and announce feature. So this allows receptionists or whoever's parking the calls to park the call and then have automatic pages played, telling people what type of call is parked and where they can pick it up. So it just makes call parking much easier to utilize. So typically without this, if you're parking a call, you have to then, once you've parked the call, you then have to tell people, either by yelling across the room, hey, there's a call parked on extension 71, or by making a page to tell people that there's a call parked. So this just automates that process and makes it more likely that your end users will use the call parking functionality. The final module in the starter bundle and our most widely deployed commercial module is Sysadmin Pro. So this component allows you to do all of your system updates directly from the GUI without having to hit the command line. It provides a dynamic DNS service, email configuration options for adding additional remote email services, the ability to manage UPSs or uninterruptible power supplies, to gracefully turn off your phone system in the event of a power failure, and a VPN back to Sangoma support when you need professional support services. Building on going up from the starter bundle is our advanced bundle. So the advanced bundle, it's a great next step when you want to move beyond the starter bundle or the basic FreePBX features. The advanced bundle includes our appointment reminder module, which automates appointment confirmation, scheduling, and reporting, which helps service industries to maximize their time and on-time kept appointment rates. Caller ID management. This module is designed to allow outbound call centers or businesses to quickly modify their outgoing caller ID and caller name, CNAM, using a feature code. So this is great for call centers or businesses representing multiple clients or entities. So if you want to make one call representing yourself as one caller ID or one company, and then dial the feature code, another feature code to change that, and as long as you're on a supported carrier, your next call coming out of the system will be generated using a different caller ID. Of course, there are legal restrictions that you'll want to be aware of in your specific countries or regions to make sure that you're using this within the scope of your defined laws. Class of service module, this defines system-wide rules. So this expands on the controls you saw in the extension round module a couple minutes ago and brings that type of granular control to call features. So instead of just being able to call where, decide where, a particular extension can call as far as an outbound route, international or local or internal, this pulls in features like controlling things like calling features or paging groups or conference rooms or other destinations on the systems that you may not want to give everyone access to. For example, if you may not, and it would continue to talk about a school scenario, you may not want to give your classroom phones the ability to do a page all. If once that feature code is, the paging group is found out, you could have students potentially paging to every phone in the school. So just gives you a lot of granular control on where particular users can call. Next up is call recording reports. These reports allow administrators to easily review and archive recorded calls. So instead of looking through thousands or tens of thousands of lines of call detail records to find specific call recordings, this report just breaks it down and sorts it and only shows you calls that are recorded, where you can play them directly, or you can set up an auto archive period where you can automatically every month or whatever time period you designate can pull those call recordings, it'll zip them up into a file and pull those and archive those off of your PBX, freeing up room on your PBX. And for certain industries that have mandated call retention rules, gives you an easy way to implement these using FreePBX. Next up is the CRM link module. This module enables integration for things like call history and recordings to be saved within your supported CRM. And when used with Zulu, it allows for click to call and call pop-ups within your CRM interface. So we currently support Salesforce, Soho, Sugar CRM, Suite CRM, ConnectWise. We also have an API that you can use that is documented. So if you have a CRM that we don't officially support, you can go build your own connectivity back into your own CRM or your own backend system. So you can build your own tie-ins, and we have these APIs well documented within our wiki so that you can go in and customize this solution with your own backend systems. PinSet Pro, this enables secured pinless dialing and call accounting reports for both inbound and outbound calls. So instead of providing everyone, for example, everyone in your company the same PIN code for international dialing, you can set up individual PIN codes for each person so that they can then, as you have to make personnel changes or you need to track and account for international calls, you can do so with these PIN codes. The next module up is our voicemail notification. So voicemail notification is an automated dialer for notifying a group of a specific voicemail. So for example, we'll use this I see many companies will use this in their support departments. So if you get a call in for your support department, they leave, your customer leaves a message. Everyone in your support department then will get a phone call where they can listen to that message, take responsibility for the voicemail or reject responsibility for that voicemail. And then ultimately a report is sent back to the manager of that group, telling them who listened to the voicemail and whom ultimately took responsibility for that call and that voicemail, as well as allowing them to listen to an attached copy of that voicemail. So it gives you a lot of auditing and control of the voicemail notification progress. Voicemail reports, this allows you to look globally at all of your greetings and manage all of your voicemails from one central point. So you can look at all of your users and see who has set up their greetings. You can listen to the greetings to make sure that they're standard and appropriate. And you can also listen to any voicemail that is saved on the system without having to log into those individual users to look at that voicemail. So web callback gives you an HTML widget that enables click to call on your websites. And the next bundle, and that I'm going to show, and I'm only going to review the modules that are not included, is our call center bundle. So this bundles things that kind of really expand on the built-in queue capabilities of and call center capabilities for FreePBX. So I'm not going to go over every one. Some of these I've already gone over in some of the other bundles. But the first one that was not gone over before is our broadcast dialer or exact dialer. This automates calling, so you can set up calling groups and set up scheduled times. It's going to automate your outbound dialing. Then we add in our call center bundle outbound call limiting, which helps ensure outbound call centers are in compliance with specific regions' consumer calling rules. For example, you might have rules in California that say you can only call consumers 2 times per day. Anything more than that, you get fined. So this just keeps you in compliance, because the module looks at every call coming out of the system, and when that third call or fourth call comes out trying to call that consumer, the system will automatically block that and keep you within compliance. Queue reports, or QZAC reports as it's also known. This allows you to get specific reports on agents and queue activity, and details about callers and analytics that can be reviewed and exported to your favorite spreadsheet program. Queue Pro, VQ Plus. This is probably the biggest bang that we add into in the call center bundle. This allows you to do things like queue callbacks. So instead of having your caller sit on hold waiting for an agent to answer, the system can automatically take their cell phone number or their number that they're calling you from and automatically call them back when they're next in line for an agent. So this keeps people a lot happier than not having to listen to on-hold music for 20 minutes waiting for a phone call. Queue Pro also gives you the ability to do virtual queuing and really expands on a lot of the detailed features that you can do within your queues. For our commercial modules, as I said, most of your pricing you can find at portal.sangoma.com, or you can visit or contact a local partner or distributor. For some of our modules, we do have free trials available. So for Zulu UC, we have a 2-user 1-year free trial. For CRM Link, we have a 1-month trial. Sangoma Property Manager is actually free to use for up to 10 rooms. And then appointment reminders, we offer a 1-month trial. Queue reports, our QZAC reports, we offer a 1-month trial. Queue Pro or VQ Plus, a 1-month trial. And Broadcast Dialer, our dialing software, we also offer a 1-month trial on that as well. If you really want to learn how to use any of the things we covered today, you can sign up for either our free online training or our classroom training at the Sangoma University site, which is training.sangoma.com. We also have extensive user guides at wiki.freepbx.org, or you can, of course, contact the sales department or hit up our online forums for additional information. The technical training for Sangoma University is typically taught. The online training is free. Classroom training is hands-on, instructor-led, and it is, depending on the session, anywhere from 3 to 5 days. You can check our website out for the next scheduled class. And of course, in addition to FreePBX training, we offer PBExact training, FreePBX Essentials, and SBC training, and more online. If you do have any more additional questions, feel free to visit sangoma.com. We have an online chat that my sales team manages. And you can also visit community.freepbx.org and post any questions you might have there, or reach out and give us a call. Thank you very much for joining us today, and this webinar should be available in the next day or two for you to review. And you're welcome to reach out to us at any time on anything you need. Thanks for attending. Have a great day.